Hi everybody, it's me Willow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here with another fun video for all of you guys to enjoy. Today we will be talking about the final season of The Bear. Season 5 just dropped on Disney Plus. I think Hulu for you guys in the States international, but Disney Plus here in Canada. And oh my goodness, all 8 episodes dropped and I have binged watched all of the episodes and oh my goodness, it's a completion of The Bear. I can't believe it is all done. This is definitely a big show. I feel like in my life I've been pretty dedicated to watching it, and I've been a big Jeremy Allen White fan since like Shameless. I used to watch Shameless as it aired back in like high school, like first couple years of high school. Like I was obsessed with that show. And just to see like how he's grown and what type of actor, he's kind of become as he has gone through, Shameless and other tiny projects and then taking on The Bear, doing Iron Claw, doing the Bruce Springsteen film. It's just really fun to get to see these actors that you've been watching for such a long time as you grow. You get to see them grow and see their careers evolve. And I feel like this is such a brilliant time for The Bear to kind of wrap up because I'd love to see Jeremy Allen White expand on his career even more, and it'd be interested to see if he's going to continue in TV because I feel like he's very solid and very comfortable in TV. Obviously, he's had such a long and expansive career in television with Showtime and then with FX. So I'd be really interested to see whether he dives more into film with doing the Iron Claw and then Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere, and what his future steps are. I believe he's going to be in The Social Reckoning. I believe he's playing the like reporter in that film with the whistleblower coming to him. So I think that will be another really great film to get to see him kind of advance as an actor. He's going to be working alongside Academy Award winner Mikey Madison and then Academy Award nominated Jeremy Strong. So it's going to be really interesting to get to see him kind of grow and evolve. But of course, The Bear's not just all about Carmi. I feel like this season specifically really brings home the message of family and community and having to communicate and do things together and not being an island and isolating yourself because often that just leads to even greater problems, specifically in a kitchen. And I think this season is very interesting, just a completely different dynamic compared to the 4 other seasons, just really like bringing us in and honing in on this one evening and showing us how even under the most immense pressure, if you communicate and you trust the people around you, you can have a flawless evening for your customers. So I thought this was a pretty strong season. I do think it started off a little bit weaker, but it went out on a bang. So if you guys are interested in pop culture, TV reviews, film reviews, awards predictions, festival coverage, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the post notification button so you don't miss out on any of that future content here on the Willow Steel channel. I'm also on all the major social media platforms at Willow D Steel, so give me a follow on those platforms. I did review every single episode of The Bear on Serialized, so give me a follow there on Willow D Steel and also Letterboxd. I'm there all the time. So thank you guys so much for your support. I honestly thought the first episode was pretty weak. I wasn't a big fan of it, specifically compared to season three's premiere and season four's premiere. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy season three, but I'm one of the fans who did really like the take that they went on, specifically the premiere episode. I loved getting to kind of do this flashback of Carmi at all these different restaurants, the different lessons that he's learned. And I feel like specifically with this season, like Dee Dee getting to look at Carmi's food diary in the 7th episode and seeing all his drawings and then bringing that to the architecture storyline at the end and just seeing how vast a person can be. I really loved how they planted so many different seeds throughout all these seasons, and they're able to bring it together so brilliantly in this final season. Like I mentioned, I don't think the first episode, maybe like the first half of the season isn't that strong. I do think it does it on purpose maybe. It's kind of slowly building this tension, setting out the parameters of what they're going for, as this is a very condensed, like, we're only really in the one spot for the 24 hours for the whole course of the season. We're at the bear preparing for this one dinner rush tonight, and it's pouring raining, it's flooding at the bear, the ceiling's falling in, all the chaos that we do not need is happening for this night. And of course, the open table has been shut down for a few hours, so they're maximized on all these rezos. They're like triple sat at the same time. They think a food critic is coming. They are balls to the wall, but they want to make it work because they are running so low on money. They wouldn't be able to pay the wages if this dinner does not go according to plan. Flipping tables every 90 minutes, getting the courses in and out in about 5 minutes, calling hands whenever it is needed. We can't have any mess ups because there's not a moment to spare. There's not a penny to spare. And meanwhile, we have Uncle Jimmy and Computer running around trying to find a way to save the business, to save his expenses, everything that he's invested into this company. And meanwhile, Carmi's like, oh, I'm ready to leave this restaurant, leave this whole crew behind. It is a chaotic first couple episodes for sure. But I think the last half of the season, the last 4 episodes, bring that chaoticness all together and makes like a perfection of a season. In the first 4 episodes of the season, we are really seeing the results of Carmi telling Sid that he wants to step back from the bear, from the restaurant business. He thinks it is really detrimenting his health, and he doesn't see a way forward for himself in this business. He really thinks it's one and done. He can't do it anymore. He just feels like he's going to end up like his brother. And I do think that's completely valid, but I do believe that deep down, this is his life. This is what his family was built on, was food, being in the restaurant. And just because you've had a really difficult time with your family and you've had a really difficult time in restaurants with different bosses and mentors doesn't mean you are going to forever be stuck and have this negative environment surrounding you in the kitchen. And I really do think this dinner service proves that. And the fact that if we all do stay in line and encourage each other and keep our voices down and we don't use negative language and really just trust each other and have each other's backs, we can hear the magic. We can hear the music. Like, that was one of my favorite lines, was in one of the last episodes. Sid is just ready to break down. She doesn't trust herself. She wants Carby to take over. And I feel like this whole season is just really proving to the audience, as well as proving to the characters, that they need to believe in themselves. They need to trust everybody around them, but at the end of the day, they have to trust their own instincts, and you can't just pass it on to another chef. You have to be ready to break through the fear and the grief and the pain. Like, I think this was another brilliant thing that Marcus said in like the fourth or the fifth episode, and how our anxieties often mask all these emotions that we go through because we are scared, we are afraid of change. And it really hit me. I kind of cried a little bit during that moment, just because I am definitely going through such a scary time in my life. You're just in your mid 20s, feeling so alone. You don't know what way is up, and getting to see, these characters trying to find their way in their craft. And yes, they're making mistakes. Of course, this kitchen is not flawless, but if they trust each other, they will be able to hear the music in the pan. They'll be able to hear that passion of why they are here, why are they doing what they love. And this is just why I think The Bear is brilliant, because yes, maybe the first couple of episodes is kind of slower. It wasn't this bang, this introduction that I thought we were going to get, but it's all on purpose, just building us to this dinner service, making us understand that every single one of these characters is entirely important to the building of the beef, of the bear. And I think one moment that really highlighted it for me was when Neil is given the opportunity to serve the critic and or the supposed critic and the weatherman, and he's really like locked up at the beginning, just kind of saying yes and holding out his hands, be prepared to grab whatever dish he has to take, very, nervous. And then they ask him about his tattoos and he just falls into this organic conversation and his personality comes out and he's able to take over from the other server and become their server. And then after they've left, he tells Richie, I love this. This like makes me feel good. And I thought that was a brilliant moment to just show who Neil was, at the beginning of this series and how he trusted his family to make sure he would be seen and that his talents would be able to shine through. And he trusted himself. He had the confidence. And same with Sydney, taking that dish that she was afraid of not being able to perfect for the supposed critic and the weatherman and wanting to pass it off to Carmi, but Carmi telling her to listen to the music in the pan and understanding that she is here for a purpose and it's because she is good at what she does. And her admitting that also at the end of the season of her coming in and knowing that this is chaos, but also knowing that they have nothing to be afraid of. I thought that was a beautiful full circle moment as well. Another full circle moment I thought was when Carmi and Sydney, they're taking like 2 bites off of this little creation that Carmi's just made in the moment. And she said, "Wow, like this isn't I haven't had a 2 bite like this or a second bite like this in like such a long time." And Carmi asked her, "Okay, what was it?" And she explains that it is the dish that he had made for her that one time so long ago before they even knew each other. And she explains the dish, and you see in Carmi's eyes that he realizes that was him. That was him in the kitchen, and he had impacted her so much. And that was one of the moments that she holds so close to her and has really impacted and influenced her as a chef and brought her to this moment. And just seeing all the different influences of like Chef Terry and Ever and all of these different places that Carmi has worked, seeing the food diary and seeing all these little dishes being used throughout this whole episode or this season, like it really felt like one big episode, honestly, just because the whole thing is the dinner service, the prep, them doing the dinner service, the aftermath, and then the days after it all goes through. I it feels like one big moment, just it all comes together. And from the other seasons, like I really do think this season takes its strides, builds it up slowly, and then gives you that bang in the fourth episode, and then brings you to the seventh episode, which is just an all timer. Episode 7 is just incredible. It's a 5-star episode. It's so fast paced. It gives you all the results you want. It is so emotionally heavy, but gives you so much satisfaction and payoff. It's like everything that you could want from a Bear episode. It was just so phenomenal. Having the rain stop so they can have more tables open up, they can have the party just popping off, having all these customers just not have to freak out about their table not being fully ready, them getting everybody in. Oh my god, I loved Gary, his moment where he's freaking out about the 99, the 97, and the critic comes in saying, "I want the 97." He's been worried all night that he got it wrong, and then he gives the critic the 97 and it's the right one. And in that moment, he found that he was a sommelier. He admitted to himself that he is a sommelier, bringing that confidence out, similar to Neil, similar to Sydney. I I thought that was a glorious moment as well. I also really loved that Cheese was able to find Ibra's whole plan that he has been, kind of really building from the last couple seasons, and how he wanted to franchise the bear, the beef, the original sandwich. He wants to push that into ghost kitchens, and how this idea that was just thrown away on a shelf that Cheese just randomly grabbed was able to save the whole restaurant and propel the franchise forward in order to save this whole crew in the kitchen. Like, another just spectacular moment of a character who, he was just kind of in the background for a lot, but he's such a heart and soul of this place. He's been there cooking these sandwiches, putting all of his passion in it, and bringing that plan together and proposing it to Carmi, and Carmi's like, "Yes, like, you don't even have to ask, like, let's franchise this, let's bring it together and make this vision happen." Just trusting the team, like, another beautiful payoff, just getting to see this explode. I do think maybe they could have done a little bit more with the whole idea of franchising, because I do think that was just rushed just a little bit, and I do think there is a lot of, optimism and happiness at the end of this season, but I do think there is always that risk of just knowing that the restaurant business is very volatile, and it's hard to keep it going unless it's tied to something. So I think them having, like, the franchise in the ghost kitchens is, like, a positive idea, but I just wonder, outside, what's going to actually happen to a lot of these characters, because I do think the ending with everybody just having kind of like their family meal, and also like the family meal kind of being based off the critic, and then just having everybody be together in this beautiful moment at the end. But I feel like every single character has a really beautiful and bright future if they end up stepping away from the bear, from the beef. They have, you know, networking opportunities in Copenhagen. We have the Luca and Marcus little head beating throughout this whole season, of Marcus really feeling abandoned, but at the end they're able to come together and realize that there are opportunities everywhere, and just because you step out and work and reach towards something else doesn't mean you're going to leave people behind, and that you're always going to be there for support and advice. And if you want somewhere to stay in Copenhagen, I'm sure Luca is willing to offer up his sofa or guest bedroom. So I thought that was a great moment. And Sid also knowing that, she can excel past this place, especially when she's given her 2 Michelin stars. We think that this critic and the weatherman, they're trying to impress him the whole time, revealed that Peter Clark is this completely other critic that had come in months before when they did the whole special snow for that one customer who'd come in, and he'd like never seen Chicago winter before, and they made it happen for him. Like, what a magical episode that was. And the fact that the critic was there in that episode and they got their 2 Michelin stars, what they have been trying to achieve this whole time, something that just proves that they know their craft and that they've worked towards it so hard and with so much effort and precision and teamwork, and the fact that they're able to get that 2 Michelin star. And I thought the reaction of Sid and Carmi just kind of being really apprehensive, like not knowing how to react, they walk away, but then just being so overwhelmed with emotion and just embracing each other, like kind of breaking down, realizing that it was all worth it in the end, and that their craft has really been acknowledged and proven, that all the hard sweat, blood, and tears, and fistfights and arguments was worth it in the end. And I think it shows them that, this is just a moment in their careers, but they can move forward if need be. But I also think it shows that family at the end of the day looks different everywhere, and that you need to come together as a team, as a community, as a family in order to bring this authentic experience. Because I really do think the family meal and the final episode really emphasizes family. And I think Carmi, looking outside for architecture jobs, maybe trying to get an internship, but then us getting to see him at the end with his apron on back in the kitchen with the family really does show that he wants to be there. He just doesn't want the chaos. And I think that dinner rush shows that even in moments of chaos, of him dropping the lamb, he's not going to get yelled at. He's going to be able to come up with a new solution, and they're going to be able to make the meal even better than what they originally had for the experience. And I thought that was so genuine and so beautiful. And I just really loved how this episode and this whole season really just came together to be this whole beautiful arc of our characters coming to realize that at the end of the day, they have to trust themselves and trust their team. I also think ending on Richie going to Japan is another beautiful moment of just showing that when you open up to scary things, you're able to broaden yourself and expand your knowledge, your skills, and have things come to you that you never thought were possible. And I think the moment of Richie realizing that he has the opportunity to go to Japan because he made this beautiful moment for this couple for their engagement, and they're like Perrier sales rep or whatever, so they want him to come to this conference in Japan. Like, imagine that, he's just being this incredible host, just bringing everything together, making sure the dining room flows, and he creates such magical moments like the snow and this engagement, and just bringing these couples and families together and making something they'll never forget. And then he's able to work past this panic attack with Carmi and realize that he's scared. He's never been on a plane before. He doesn't know how he can deserve something like this and try something so frightening. And I think deep down, he's also thinking about Mikey and realizing he's doing these things and moving past this relationship. And I think the beginning with the car crash that happened in Gary and him kind of having that jolt, and then getting him at the end with Jess on the airplane flying to Japan. like like it is just so beautiful, and I'm just so happy that these characters get this moment to realize that they can do incredible things. And having Dee Dee there with the baby and getting to see the diary, and just having telling Pete that she's proud of him, and seeing Carmi and his creations in his book, and telling Sugar that she did all of this and that this used to be her office, and just seeing, the shared craft of this family and everybody just come together and realizing that they are worth so much. Like, guys, I'm fucking crying. Like, oh my god. Like, I just thought, I think it's beautiful. I really do. And I really think this is such a beautiful way to end this season. I think it really does it leaves us knowing that things are going to be okay. I think that was my biggest question about the Bears, that are these characters going to be okay? In my opinion, this is way more of a drama than a comedy. The whole argument about is this series a comedy or drama, I definitely think this is way more of a drama, focusing on our mental health and family and the trauma, and trying to work through the hardships that we have faced, and realize that just because we've been through a lot of hard things in our life doesn't mean we can't work past it and realize that we're worth a lot more. And just because we are striving for new things doesn't mean we're leaving others behind. So yeah, I just think this season was so well done. I think there was so much payoff. I really do feel fairly satisfied with all these characters. I think Tina gets a brilliant moment to really shine with her Brussels sprouts with the critic. I love that moment, and her with her husband just telling him just telling her that she can be the CDC, and Sid saying, no matter what happens, no matter where we go, you are my CDC. And Tina realizing, she has it in her. She can do it. Gary realizing that he is a sommelier, admitting that to himself. Getting to see the Fox come full characters and realizing their purpose and stake. They're not just these guys to be like bullied around or comedic relief at the end of the day. They really do have souls, and they have a passion for this as well, and they love family at the end of the day. And seeing Ibra's plan work out, and I honestly really did love all of the Jimmy and Computer and Pete and Cheese little moments in the car, them running around. Like, I thought this season, I loved the fast pace. I think the cinematography, editing, all the little lens flares. I think this was a really effective television season. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the final season of The Bear down below in the comments. What was your favorite moment? I definitely think my favorite episodes were episode 4 and episode 7, probably the strongest ones of this season. And I just think the whole thing really does come together and give you so much payoff and emotional release. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear all of your guys' discussion. If you guys are interested in pop culture, TV, movie reviews, festival coverage, all that good stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the post notification button so you don't miss out on any of this good videos coming out in the next couple weeks. I'm posting all the time. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and also follow me on all my social media accounts. I'm on Letterboxd, Serialized, the Awards Expert app, TikTok, and Instagram, all at Willow D Steele. Give me some love over on those platforms. I'm so grateful for all the engagement, as it really helps to push me out into the algorithm so I can meet other like-minded folks like you guys. I'm getting so close to 900 subscribers here, getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and really helps to monetize my channel. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Again, let me know what you guys think about The Bear down below. I really do think there is just so much brilliantness in the season, specifically the second half just really gives you so much emotional release, and yeah, it was really brilliant television. So let me know what you guys think, and until my next video, keep getting lost in cinema. Bye.